Hi guys, it's MicheleMarieDalene. It is the 18th of October. Hello, merry meet to all of you at yourlisting.com. Of course, today is another day of the week. Always. It's always a day of the week. We don't need volume 2 on, so we'll turn this microphone off here. Anyway, we are, of course, here at the new studio, the multimedia studio, which obviously allows us to do not just video productions, but also audio productions, as well as our systems are interconnected for both functions. And so we have the ability to reach out and do more together and in this wonderful location. And I got to pick up some miscellaneous pieces. You could pick those up now while you're doing the video. People probably wouldn't notice that. That's true, as long as they turn the microphone downwards where I'm working. What I'm doing is I'm trying to clean up some cables. I was looking for some cords, and that's what I was doing. I was looking for some cords for the studio function, and Lumi and I, of course, were talking about a lot of different projects as we were working on this. This morning we did something interesting. Michelle was showing me how to use City to clean up vinyls electronically, to remove snap, crackles, and pops, to improve the dynamic performance of the records, and also to increase the sound quality for vinyls, which sometimes have suffered from a degradation from overplaying. We didn't really get much of that done, but Michelle did, of course, show me some of the tools that she can use to work on records and things like that. Right, and we also were working on other things as well. And I'm just putting these cords away here. The studio is a work in progress, and for those of you who've never been in the studio, there is a wonderful reality that there's a lot of things in this room. This is a multi-use room. There's a desk, there's a cabinet with our tools, supplies, light bulbs, stationary parts. There's a computer. There's a couple microphones. There's a couple lights. We got a couple chairs. We got the chroma key material. And hi, Rusty. Rusty the cat is kissing the microphone again. He always is. He's just being a good kitty cat. And, he's not meaning harm. But of course, one of the things is that one of the things that we did with Odd City was we did some experiments with echo. Yeah, I think we should try that again. Originally, apparently you had set an echo for the Urchies band. Yeah, you can do that with Sugar, sure. Obviously you had the settings on it for, to make it sound like we're in a big auditorium, and you obviously haven't used it since. I mean, I tried it with the Urchies at first. It sounded pretty awful. Yeah. It's great for speech, though. Great for speech. But unfortunately for us, speech is not necessarily the problem here. But people do, of course, sometimes forget. You forgot to put the headphones on. I forgot to put the headphones on. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. So, one of those things is I think you're more comfortable with audio than you are with videos. I swear to Mother God, you are. When it gets down to the microphone, if it's just a microphone and a pair of headphones, you're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing. But when you're on, and it's like when you're on video, it's like, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. And I mean, you were like a radio engineer. I mean, you sit there and you, a broadcast engineer, you worry about everything, about the way the sound sounds and the way the video looks, to the point where people may not realize that despite the fact that you are legally blind, you push the envelope. Well, yeah, I do. That's because, like I said, I like having the ability to really push the envelope. I love the challenges that I have from doing radio and audio work. And last night we were trying this morning we were watching Elsa's Frozen Let It Go on the video projector that the light blast, and it was pretty lousy. Yeah, it's pretty lousy. It wasn't a progressive scan. It didn't have the zow and the wow I really would like to have seen. I definitely think that we definitely need a better video projector for that, because of the lack of quality of the video stream was just so obviously noticeable. Yeah. Of course, now in the next month coming up, we're going to be getting your hair done this week. Yeah, we had to reschedule this week, and we're going to get it done on Thursday. Okay? Providing you don't oversleep. Absolutely true. Yes, that is true. We don't oversleep. Michelle overslept, and then she got up at like 1:30. I can't get there in time. And then, of course, Michelle, for some reason, went back to bed again, kissed the mattress, forgot her case manager was supposed to come at 3:30, and then like, oh my god. And then she the phone, she wakes up at 5. Oh my god, my case manager was supposed to be here. And she realized that she overslept, so she called and said, I'm sorry, I overslept. Your case manager said, well, at least you locked the door. Yeah, that was true, By the way, what did you think about the new video quality? I think the video is great, but I think that when you're talking about other things in video, such as topics and discussion, I think your videos unfortunately leave something to be lacking, because I don't think people really feel that they're really getting anything out of it, except the feeling of, oh my god, she's so worried more about technical quality that the topics are not there, and it's like, why don't you stop focusing on all the technical quality and start working in the script writers and start writing the scripts down on what you're going to talk about, because they suck. As much as I hate to say that, but it's true. It's true. Yeah, you need to work on something. You got to change that. You got to get some people to feel like, oh, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I know you're a smart person. I already know from fact is that you're a intelligent person, and you're. It's almost like you're trying to prove to somebody out there in video land, oh, I know my shit. I know my shit. I know what I'm doing. And yet, at the same time, it's like, oh, but I am disabled, so poor, pitiful me. Excuse me. That's not the case. No. I mean, it's not the case to you, but people, wonder, well, how come you got so much smarts? How come you're not working in radio industry? How come you're not working in the broadcast field? Because part of the problem is when you're legally blind is the lack of transportation. Yeah, okay, I get that. And there is no broadcast medium in this area, except for, of course, my videos and a radio station called WAPJ in Torrington. WSNG is gone. WSNG is way gone. Too bad. That was a good station one time. They had a lot of stuff, a lot of good, interesting stuff. Speaking of radio, yes, Michelle's favorite forte. Yeah, I just saw a couple nice little 5-watt FM transmitters. Now, here's a problem with FM. Okay, the FCC lately hasn't given much concern for AM, and so you could easily get an AM transmitter going, say about 5-12 watts, as long as it's not going to walk all over everybody else's radio station, and they wouldn't normally give a concern. But the minute you start peeping your mouth open on FM, you could get a citation. Yeah, that's a problem. I think that's a very good point. But somehow I got that little hint of taste that you're going to go ahead and throw caution to the wind and say screw it. Well, not now, but somehow I got a feeling you're not going to go ahead and let that one lay down. I don't really want to do FM. I don't want to do FM in Winston for two reasons. Number one, there's so many stations in Winston, you basically can't even be heard among all the noise. Even if you could find a place to creep in a little station, there's just not the kind of thing where you can go ahead and just pop an antenna onto the roof and set up a transmitter and start broadcasting all over the radio stations. It doesn't work that way. Even on AM, it doesn't. It just seems that AM, they seem to be a little bit less picky. They're a little bit less picky, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be there watching you going, excuse me, are you violating the law? You know, like, well, first of all, I think it was 1929 or 1939, Congress created the Federal Communications Commission. I don't think they really gave it much thought about, how radio, the government originally wanted to have this, like, the United States thought about turning radio commercial, more like government control, like the BBC. It's semi-government, but basically still under a manipulation of government authority, the British Broadcasting Company. Okay, now, in the United States, that never happened. Okay, the closest thing to that would be a public broadcasting service, PBS. Yeah, and we know what that's like. Yeah, pledge breaks time. Speaking of pledge breaks, yeah, I know what you're going to say. Yes, we are on Patreon, www.patreon.com/BICHELA, and GoFundMe at www.gofundme.com/BICHELA. The reason? We're trying to get money for our chroma key machine. We still want it. We still want that chroma key mechanism of a freestanding model that can allow us to take videos and combine them together to make them a really wow production. And that's something we still want. Definitely want it. It definitely would make our lives a lot easier. And we should do it. We should really get a chroma key generator. And it really would help us, I think. Because you've been wanting it for years. The only one I could get is the one. You can't afford to get either one of them right now. I don't care if it's the $259 or the $400 one. You don't have it. That's the reason why we have to get the donations. Because we can't afford to do it. And let's be honest, iMovie 8 is a royal pain in the ass. It doesn't work the way we'd like to. Final Cut Express, I don't understand any of it. I'm serious. I can tell you how to wire an XLR plug. I can tell you how to wire, adjust for impedance, but I can't figure out how to tell you how to get the stupid Final Cut Express to go ahead and do chroma key. Very true. Very true. Anyway, so here's the deal. We have been up pretty much since 9 o'clock tonight. We watched the food truck race. Yes, it was the premiere episode. It was okay. Unfortunately, one of the trucks was, it is every week. A truck is leaves the program. It was Chatty Chicken that left. They had a couple of problems with their setup, and they kind of ended up basically not making the sales quota that they needed for the show. Yeah, that happens in real life too. So, I think it was still pretty interesting that, they did a great job. I mean, Megan, the son, I think the son's name was Jack, and the dad's name was Jack. The son was starting to try to look like the dad. Yeah, but he didn't have the gray beard. No, he had Dark brown beard. Dark brown beard. Dark brown. Speaking of color hair, oh God, do we have to go through this? Yes, we do. We do. Okay. My hair's growing out. No shit. I know it's going out. And you didn't go last week, remember? Yes, I do. Okay. So we're thinking it's time to give it some thought of going to another color. I don't really want to go there. Not even your color? Definitely not my color. You worked hard to get what it is now, and I really would feel really kind of awkward seeing you give up your own passion and dream to do something like that. And I think that really would be something your audience would agree is not something that you want to do. Because you worked hard on it. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to get ready to wrap this up. And we're going to be working on some new videos on YouTube, too. We're going to be trying to expand our horizons and technology and stuff like that. And that's what Michelle does. She just likes to keep pushing the envelope. Learning is fundamentally essential. That's what life means. Learning is fundamentally essential. I like it. Life. Yeah, what does dead mean? Didn't evolve advanced, or didn't even advance dummy. Didn't even advance dummy. That doesn't make any sense. Didn't even advance dipshit. That's better. I don't want to be dead. No, you don't. Okay, so we're going to let you go. And don't forget to, again, watch the YouTube videos. You can find them at the http://www.youtube.com/USER/BICHELA4 and Loom. I'm going to try giving 2 links today. Okay, I'm going to give the usual, and then I'm going to try another one because I think this is also set up also. Okay, http://www.tinY/LUMIFINISTRA, which is the one I usually give, and I think this works too. http://www.youtube.com/USER/LUMIFINISTRA. I'm not sure about the last one, but you can try it and let me know because it might work. And of course, you can always find me on Google Plus, and of course, Michelle's on Google Plus too. And we're going to keep working on these new videos. And like I said, I like the way the progressive scan worked on the videos. I think that's going to work very good for the chroma key. I think it's going to work good for the chroma key too. And now finally we'll have a picture that'll be less embarrassing. We'll see. So that's it. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.